Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I'm here to give you a report on metabolic syndrome disorder, which is a personal story of mine. About 10 years ago, when I was trying to purchase insurance, I received back a quote. And I looked at it, my eyes went, it was about 4 or 5 times higher than what I had expected. I said, why is it so high? And they said, well, you better check in with your doctor. So I went in and took some blood work, and he looks at that result and said, look, you're borderline high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, I don't look like I should have high cholesterol, you have high triglycerides, and you have high uric acid levels. So all hallmarks of the metabolic syndrome, which they follow under that rubric because they don't know what else to call
for
it.
adult services are over in 10 minutes. Thank you for your cooperation.
And they didn't really know how to treat it either, except one symptom at a time. Here's a pill for this, here's a pill for that. Take this pill, take that pill. And given my recent drug reaction, I'm kind of done with pills. So when I was doing research on the topic, and ran across a viral video by Dr. Robert Lutzig from UCSF about sugar and how it's destroying America. It caught my eye because in it he mentioned metabolic syndrome, which is what brought me to that video. So as I read it, he throws out this phrase, fructose is poison. But that doesn't make sense to me. It's just being titillating because fructose is just sugar from fruit. And this apple, this delicious apple, has fructose in it. How could it be poisonous? Is this the apple that's supposed to keep the doctor away? Or is this the apple that the wicked witches of the West gave to Dorothy? So which is it? So I listened to the video intently, about an hour and a half long. And a lot of biochemistry. And in the end, I finally understood and believed that he has something worthy of investigating. And it turns out, and I'll tell you at the end, I'll provide you a brief summary of why I think from the report in the video, and recommendations that maybe you can take and implement it yourself. So the question is this good science in the first place? And it turns out that there's plenty of information about the chemistry and the effects of fructose. There's standard biochemistry texts, because a lot of the science and information is already well known. And there's also a mix of peer-reviewed journal articles on newer information. And again, just to reiterate, they are peer-reviewed journals. And there are plenty of people who disagree with them, which is good because it fosters a interactive back and forth that will drive this debate forward and hopefully come to some kind of conclusion. And there's plenty of data. There's national data, there's data from the library. So this is quite exciting. And we're not just talking about statistics now, we're talking about a real model. So you can do predictive things with it, and not just theorize. So I will present you just a brief summary, because this is a short talk. Now fructose, I gave you a diagram, is actually a component of sugar. Table sugar is made up of two big molecules. One is glucose, and the other one is fructose. So in figure 1, I have sugar on your left. It's called sucrose, which is just everyday white table sugar. And when you digest it, it just breaks down that one bond. You get one fructose and one glucose. Now the body takes the glucose and uses that immediately. every cell can use glucose. But fructose can only be digested by or metabolized by the liver. And so when it goes to the liver, what happens? It goes to the liver, the fructose is broken down, and it can actually produce uric acid, which can give you high blood pressure, can give you gout. Hey, I got that. It can also give you this, what they call, blocks your hunger signals, so that if you're not efficient, your brain doesn't tell you to stop eating, so you kind of tend to overeat. And that'll produce a lot of triglycerides in your body. It also has a pathway for generating fat, which leads to high cholesterol. Hey, I got that too. And it's all beginning to sound like the metabolic syndrome disorder, which is what I have. So that's where that comes from the breakdown of the fructose in the liver. So, is the science definitive enough for us to make public policy yet? Not quite, because there's still a lot of controversy. Some of the suppositions that he makes are not fully formed and can be criticized. But it is worthy enough to fund and support, which is what I'm advocating here that we do. But on a personal level, the recommendations that he makes are pretty simple and actually consistent with what they tell me you should do now, which is, one is to eat more fiber, you need to eat more vegetables. The other is to drink water and not fruit juice, and then, which lowers calories, but then that reduces the amount of fructose you have in your system. And the other thing is to exercise. That's the hardest part. So I challenge you, go home, eat more fiber, and drink water. It's an easy thing to do, and see if it works for you. That's all I have. Thank you. Any questions?
One question is, what foods contain a lot of fructose, sugar, besides soft drinks?
Well, naturally, this apple has fructose. Anything that has sugar gets converted into fructose directly once you imbibe it into your body.
So is he saying not to eat fruit at all?
No, he's saying to eat fruit. He actually says to eat fruit with fiber. That's how you get around it.
Okay.
Because it's in the fiber, and it takes a little while to come out a little bit at a time. You drink soda, all of it goes directly into the system, all at once. So you get this, it's like a big wave. And so your system can't handle it, and it starts to overload, which gets you into these pathways that produces fat. And so you get the unusual pathways. Typically, fructose gets burned and then gets stored as glycogen, glucose, and nothing. The normal pathways. It's just what he's saying, when you hit it with a big wave of the fructose, it starts going down these other pathways.
Is there a lot of fiber in M&Ms?
Well, you can read your nutritional packet, and they'll tell you probably 0. So he's saying you should read your nutritional packet, and you see fiber, if it's solid food, should have 3 grams, and then you should be okay to eat it.
Now, the fructose is naturally in that apple, but the apple is also a good source of fiber.
Yes,
So an apple a day is good,
yes, that's right.
and
Well, the difference between this and let's say, a bottle of apple juice,
yes,
there's no fiber in the apple juice.
but I bet apple sauce is okay.
Not as good.
Not as good.
It's all broken down already. And the other thing is they add a lot of sugar to everything these days. I have my second picture, my favorite snack is peanuts. And in it, they've add a lot of sugar in peanuts.
Do you know how many grams of fiber you should have each day?
Between 25 and 30, I believe, is the recommended daily.
I've heard a lot of negative comments about high fructose corn syrup. Do you have any comments about that compared to, say, the fructose that comes from apples?
Fructose is fructose, all the same.
Yeah, it's just concentrated fructose.
Yes. Any other questions?
Did you have a question?
I was gonna ask the same thing about fructose corn syrup.
Basically, sugar will give you, any sugar you eat will turn into fructose. And our intake of sugar has been going up.
How does the body handle a reasonable amount of fructose? I mean, not drinking down the sodas, that's spike, but
There are normal pathways that it usually takes and
it's,
can handle a small amount at a time.
I see. So the liver digests it?
Yes, it's just when you get into excess, it pushes it to the other pathways.
I see.
Well, that's all the time I have for tonight.